Hello, I'm Amy Schenk, the Community Engagement Lead with the Neuropsychiatric Research Center of Southwest Florida, and I'd like to welcome you to Your Beautiful Brain on Lead Pits Live. Previously on Your Beautiful Brain, we've talked about all of the wonderful things that your brain can do, and I may have mentioned that it's 3 pounds of amazing. We've also talked a little bit about some of the things that you can do to keep your brain healthy. And today we're going to talk a little bit about memory issues and some approaches that you can use if you have folks in your family or as part of your community that maybe are having some of those issues. So sometimes people who have memory issues also have difficulty remembering things, and guess what? That can make them a little bit irritable or nervous. So I'm somebody who's worked with people with memory issues for a large part of my career, and here's some of the things that I've heard. Amy, why does my wife get so mad at me? She is a good, faithful woman, and this is just not like her. Or sometimes things like this. Oh, Amy, my pops is downright ornery. He won't do one thing we ask him to do, and you know what? He yells at us all the time. Here's another one that may sound familiar. You know what? My mama just will not calm down. She walks all around the house day and night, and when I ask her, Mama, please sit down, relax, not only does she get angry, sometimes she says some things that are mean, and it really hurts my feelings. So do any of these examples sound familiar? Well, many times we think that people with memory issues are giving us a hard time. And what I'd like you to do now is think about that in a little bit different way. People who have memory issues are having a hard time. Now you may say, what are you talking about? That just doesn't make sense. So let me explain a little bit. Not only does our amazing brain keep track of our memories, and in essence is in charge of our memories, it controls a lot of other things. When people have difficulty with their memory, sometimes they have other troubles just as well. So somebody with memory issues may have some difficulty with their brain being able to understand what people are saying to them. Brain may not work that fast. Or sometimes it can be difficult for someone with memory issues to be able to understand and get the right words out. So when you're having a conversation, that can be challenging. Many times it can lead to frustration and misunderstandings. And when we're frustrated, don't we get a little bit annoyed? Well, let me tell you, I get a little bit annoyed, and sometimes I don't know why. So when frustration enters into it, sometimes people can seem, as I mentioned, annoyed or irritated or stubborn. Well, you know, when I think about it, when I have misunderstandings, that's pretty much how I respond as well. And I will tell you that I get stubborn, and I'm pretty sure that other people would say I may get a little even more stubborn. So how can we better figure out what's going on? Do you ever notice that there may be times when people who are living with memory issues kind of act differently than what we're used to? It can be hard knowing what to do or what to say. So one of the things we also know is sometimes what we try and do and say just doesn't work out so well. So I have a few tips that hopefully will help. What I'd like you to do now is think of the word care, spelled C-A-R-E. For each letter in the word care, I have a tip. These tips are not magic, even if I wish they were. And they may not be easy to use all the time, and guess what? They may not work all of the time. But I think we all need to start somewhere, so let's get started with some of those tips. The letter C stands for consistently calm. And you may be thinking, oh, Amy, you do not know my pops. Staying consistently calm, there is no doggone way that I can do that when he's in a mood. And please know I understand that. This is really a different approach, and it's not easy, and quite frankly, we have to practice it. So one of the things I encourage people to do is to stay as calm as possible, take deep breaths, and here's the other thing. This takes practice. It's not easy to learn, so you want to keep practicing. Think about what's going on. Is this something you're going to say maybe make things better or worse? And the other thing to remember is just do your best, keep practicing, and you really will get better at it. The letter A is for appropriate activities. So people with memory issues can stay involved with things that they enjoy, and you know what? It can help them feel good about themselves. Activities don't need to be some big fancy thing, and in fact, many times it's a bit better if it isn't. So it could be taking a walk. Maybe it's participating in the church choir. Maybe it's spending time with grandbabies. Maybe it's just listening to music. All of those things can be simple things that can be done that can make us feel better. And feeling better is good for all of us. So those can be some suggestions, and there's a million more based on your loved one that may help a little bit. And you may remember I mentioned the word appropriate activities. Well, what does that mean? Well, here's a few things. It means not forcing someone to do something if they don't want to. Making sure that the activity isn't something that is too difficult for them to participate in. Have you ever tried to do something that's difficult? For me, sometimes it's working with my new TV remote, and after a while, I just get frustrated and annoyed, and I throw it down. So we don't want it to be something that is really too difficult or challenging. The other thing that can help is, instead of telling somebody they need to do something, invite them to do it. So here's an example. Instead of saying, hey mom, I really want you to work on this puzzle, so get started on the puzzle. A lot of times, none of us like to be told what to do. So another approach could be, hey mom, I'd love to have you help me with the puzzle. You sit down and work with it. You don't badger her, but encourage her to join you. Another key point here is we all have better parts of the day when we're feeling less tired. Maybe we're more apt to be engaged with things. So take that into consideration. Some people are morning people. Some people are afternoon or evening people. So you know your loved one and take that into account. R stands for having a regular routine. Routines help us all know what to expect for the day. So getting up at about the same time, having breakfast, building some time in for an enjoyable activity, maybe having a short nap before the evening meal. Having a routine really can help us know, and particularly people with memory issues, kind of know what's going to happen during the day. Now, trying to keep things as regular as possible can be challenging. So with memory issues, it can be helpful to realize there's going to be some days that the activity doesn't work out. And E stands for engagement and empathy. We talked a lot about activities a little bit earlier, and activities can be great ways to engage. So let your loved one help with things, even if they do things exactly right. Include them in things that they enjoy. And I think learning how to be empathetic or have empathy really helps. So you may have heard of the word empathy, and what does it mean? Well, it simply means that empathy is the ability for us to understand the feelings of another person. So we know it can be challenging to be a caregiver of someone who has memory issues. But you know what? When we have empathy, we realize it's also challenging for the person with those memory issues. So keeping that in mind can really help. They're doing their best, and you know what? You're probably doing your best as well. So give each other a little bit of grace. It can be challenging and it can be rewarding. For more information on the Neuropsychiatric Research Center, or to learn more about how we could help with memory issues, please contact us at 239-939-7777 877 or on the web at nprc-swfl.com. I'm Amy Schenk. Thank you for joining me today on this segment of Your Beautiful Brain. And now stay tuned for more Lee Pitts Live.
Lee Pitts Live is a Lee Pitts Enterprise production.
Hello everybody, this is Lee. I'm so glad that you watched that particular show, and if you enjoyed that show, we got other shows like that. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel, watch Lee Pitts Live on demand anytime, and also hit us up on all our social media platforms. Just type in Lee Pitts Live, and there you go.